Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading room. Hang on here. Friday before Labor Day long weekend, last weekend of the summer, long weekend of the summer. And I don't know, it kind of makes me wonder what kind of day we're going to be in for today. Yesterday, relatively quiet day, except going into the close, we saw the market fall off rather sharply going into the afternoon session. What's significant about this is that we have breached some significant swing lows, and that may change the overall bias of the market. You can see the Asian session and European sessions relatively stagnant. Trade forecaster says we're starting the day here in scalp mode, but should be moving into trend mode as the morning progresses. We'll see exactly what kind of follow through we get here, if any. Just out of curiosity, let's take a look here at the daily. And here was yesterday's session. So this is what do they call those? Spinning tops in candlestick lingo. We got a tiny little bar right there. As prices bounced off of 7,700. Right now, we got a little bit of a rally to start the day. A little pre-market first micro-macro cross signal here on the Hawk scalper that had some very nice follow through to it. Gosh, I sure hope that's not the move of the day right there. I can see traders trying to get busy early. All right, a little bit of a pushback from the early rally. So we're getting a number one signal here. I don't know. Let's see whether or not the buyers can pull it together, or whether that breakout move to the downside yesterday is going to have some bigger follow through to it. Well, so far that number one signal is showing some follow through. And now a little bit of a pushback again. Well, that was a very strong rally out of the open. but now they've kind of gone flat. Really flat. I thought we were going to see a little something else here. I keep checking my data to make sure the data's still on. All right, we're getting a little bit of a pullback here. Nothing too terribly serious, but I don't know. Oh, there they go. A little bit of a breakout again. We're trading right now around that quarter to the hour mark. This is the time of the day that a lot of times I find the market kind of gives you a bit of a curveball. And very often I'll avoid it unless the setup seems especially strong. Okay, that little rally up has stalled, so I'm starting to wonder if we're going to see a little bit of a reverse here. So we had the big rally up. We had a number 2 signal form, another rally. Now we're going to come back with potentially another number 2 signal. It's not quite a 2-3-2 style setup, but it's kind of close. I may try to throw a single on it. And while technically this is counter trend for the day, it's actually a little bit more with trend when you take a look at yesterday's session. We're kind of back near the top end where the market declined from yesterday. But again, it's going to be a bit of a risky trade. The market generally fairly quiet here to start. Okay, we'll see now if this high holds. The Geiger counter was red as this signal was developing, so I thought there might be a little bit of follow through from that, but not so much, at least not yet. We could actually produce another number 2 signal. In fact, I may hold out for that one. okay or not, or they're not going to give me that signal. We did get a late filter entry signal here on the Falcon. I wonder whether or not the buyers are going to keep pushing. I still think just we can kind of see the momentum waning, kind of draining out of the market, or so it seems. Okay, the Geiger counter turning reddish again. We're supposed to be in trend mode, which doesn't always necessarily mean that there's going to be a big move, rather that the pullbacks are probably going to be less frequent, not as deep. Of course, I could always just put on a with trend trade. We could almost even bracket what's going on here. All right, here they come again. Maybe. And there's the number 2. Let's see if we get a second push on that one. It's going to be a little bit of a hesitation. That might be all I get right there. So we'll toss the signal in, and did they slip me? Nope, no slippage. We're almost down to the break even. Getting a little bit of a bounce now. Come on. So what I'll be looking for here is on the next move lower. In fact, I'll even bring my break even up somewhat. If the market makes another move to the short side, I'll look at taking my stops at least above the swing high that's forming here, or even down to break even if I can get it. I'm not liking that the Geiger counter is pulling and sticking to the long side. Look at that, they're trying to muster a little bit of a rally. It looks like it's going to be a fairly flat session. That move that we saw out of the open, that might be all that we're going to get today. So now we're getting the number 3 signal. And this may in turn be followed by a number 2 signal, which is going to give us that 2-3-2 style setup. Okay, here they go. They're retesting the highs and hopefully well, you know what? Dan writes here, Dan says, hate to go against you, but I did take that late filter entry signal on the Falcon. And if you hit your stop loss, I hit my profit target. The advantage with Dan's trade, of course, is it's with trend. So here's the late filter entry signal. Not quite sure where Dan has the stops, but say down there. So the late filter entry occurs when your filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. The trend line itself never changes color. This is actually nice and flat, this one. And oh, got close, got really close. Yeah, the market's just very dull here this morning. And that's really to be anticipated. I think, Dan, you're probably going to win on your trade because, like I said, it's with trend. I got in a little bit early on mine. There you go. You're going to get your profit target here in a second, and she's done. Yeah, no, Dan's apologizing. And way to go, Mark. Mark says, hit my profit target too. Yeah, when you're in doubt, stay with the trend. But it's just very, just very dull today, very quiet. Not not a lot, it seems, in the way of market participation. Well, getting a little bit more active. Another little bullish push. And now we're back into the sideways drift. Yeah, Mark makes a good comment here regarding stop strategies. He says, if I had my stop too tight, I would have lost on that trade, meaning his late filter entry signal back here. This one right here. Mark says, my strategy has been to take the high probability signals and give them room to breathe. They almost always work out. The tendency for most traders is to place their stops really tight. And what that does is, as the market retests support and resistance areas, very often you're going to get yourself stopped out before the market eventually goes on to its profit objective. I tend to, if I'm at a loss as where to put my stops, I try to think two swings back. So there would be swing one, there's swing two. This is not something you want to micromanage. When in doubt, put your stop a little bit further away, at least to start. You can always bring it in tighter. But again, what that does is it allows you to hang in through a possible reverse or a little bit of chop. It does appear as though we're in a bit of a upward grind. Yeah, Frank says you could use the ATR stop, and most definitely you could. What I do, people are often ask me, what's the best stop strategy to use? Well, there's a reason you have 16 different stop strategies here. It's so that you can find the one that best seems to suit the market. And you can see that today, where was that strategy or that signal right there? Today, the ATR strategy would be a little bit tight. So you could consider making it a little bit looser, in which case it would look like that. Still too tight. Maybe you could go with a chandelier strategy, which tends to be a little bit more conservative. Nope, still too tight. Still would have got stopped out on that reverse. But if you're looking to use a stop strategy, just put it on your chart. If it seems to follow the market pretty well that day, well, then it's probably a good enough strategy to start with. Remember, you can always adjust your stop strategies as the day goes on or as your trade develops as well. And yeah, well, here we are again. Not quite sure what to make of this. Oh, way to go, Mark. Mark says took that second late filter entry signal. That's this one right here. Back-to-back late filter entry signals. Said just hit my target, and so it did. I may just take the rest of the day off and get ready for my long weekend, heading to Michigan for 5 days. That's a nice time of the year to head out that way. All right, gang. Well, we'll hang out here till the bottom of the hour, but I don't think we're going to see too much more out of this. It's been a slow grind higher. Could be a little bit of a pullback, maybe a little bit sideways for the rest of the session. Here, once again, the daily chart, you can see we're trading pretty much in the same neighborhood as what we were yesterday, within the highs and lows of yesterday's trading. Well, folks, I don't know what to tell you. The market's just kind of dead right now. Things moving very, very slowly. I think we're going to wrap up shop here. Call it a week. Head off into the weekend. It seems to me that's what a lot of traders have done today. It doesn't look like a lot of people showed up, or the ones that did got busy really early and then pulled the plug. If you are going to hang out the rest of the session here, I think we can expect a move lower. I know I tried to short earlier here. I got a little bit anxious, a little bit too early, but we're back near some fairly significant highs. 76.80 was where the market kind of fell off from yesterday. So we could see at least a short-term move lower, and most likely the market going to enter a bit of a sideways drift. All right, gang, I will talk to you on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you then. Bye for now.